LP2000 right back at you with another video. Yes, welcome back to Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews on behalf of Summer Kaiju and on behalf of the awesome new upcoming collectible show, courtesy of the Kaiju Cast, Collect All Monsters. And today we're doing another Mark Seng Yang showcase. And look at this girl. Look at her in all her glory. Yes, yes, yes. This is such an awesome piece. She needs no introduction, but I'm going to give you one anyway. Yes, yes, yes. This Mark Seng Yang showcase is dedicated to my custom-made giant version of the Rose form of Biollante, based off her iconic appearance in the super cool second Godzilla film from the Heisei Godzilla film series, Godzilla vs. Biollante. As you can see, I have the beautiful sculpture here of the Rose form of Biollante. Just an awesome sculpture. Yes, yes, yes. Now, I've done a few Mark Seng Yang showcases on my channel before. So, if you don't know who Mark Seng Yang is, I will give a little small brief summarization here, or summary here, if you're coming to a Mark Seng Yang showcase for the first time. But basically, Mark Seng Yang is just a brilliant kaiju sculptor that makes these original sculptures of our favorite kaiju. You know, Godzilla, Gamera, King Kong, and now in this case, Biollante. Hit him up on Facebook, Mark Seng Yang. Yes, yes, yes. This is such an amazing piece from Mark Seng Yang, Custom Made Studios. Oh my God, and it's so timely, because at the time of this recording, it is Friday the 13th. Oh my God. You know what? I don't care this Friday the 13th. It's going to be a great day, because we're reviewing the girl in all her glory. But at the time of this recording, anyway, at the time of this recording, it's Friday the 13th. December 13th, 2019, and just in 3 days, December 16th, 2019, this film, along with this monster, celebrates her 30th birthday, her 30th anniversary. Yes, Godzilla vs. Biollante was released in theaters on December 16th, 1989. Wow, can you believe that? 30 years of this awesome film being in existence. And it is one of my most favorite Godzilla films of all time. As a matter of fact, it's on my top 10. It runs at number 7. You know what I'm saying? Such an awesome film, such a great film. But I'll talk about more about the film, or at least Biollante's role in the film later on. But the reason I wanted to have this sculpture made, because I love the film so much. And I do think that when it comes to Biollante, because, you know, Biollante in the film, she goes through basically two forms. This form, the Rose form, and the more popular, bigger, crocodile-looking version at the end, right? But I think between the two versions, this is the one that don't get talked about that much. Of course, there are some people out there that are vocal about wanting to see more of Rose form Biollante, you know, figures, whether it's from X Plus or SH Monster Arts or any of these companies that create more in-depth detailed figures or pieces. We don't see a lot of Rose form Biollantes out there, you know what I'm saying? So when I went to Mark about this project, because mind you, he made my custom-made King Kong Escapes diorama. That video is on my channel as well as in the archives. But after he finished with that project, I gave him 4 other potential projects I wanted him to do. One was a giant mechanic Kong to go with my, you know, custom King Kong from my King Kong Escapes diorama. I wanted him to make a suit-accurate giant GMK Godzilla. I wanted him to make a suit-accurate giant Godzilla 2000. And I wanted him to make Biollante. And I asked him, was like, between the 4, which one would you think would be your best bet to do? You know what I'm saying? Because I would have been fine with either one. But he chose Biollante because he was up for the challenge. He was like, I never made anything like Biollante before. At least nothing but the size that you're asking for, you know what I'm saying? Because I wanted this sculpture to put up against my X Plus Gigantic Series Godzilla 1989 that came out earlier this year. Arguably the figure of the year, but we'll come to that conclusion in a couple of weeks. But I wanted something to pair off against him, you know what I'm saying? So I gave Mark some reference pictures of what I want Biollante to look like, and this is what he basically made for me. It comes in 2 pieces. It comes with Biollante herself, and it comes with this base here. It comes with this base, this Lake Ashi base, you know, when we first see Biollante, the Rose form Biollante in the water, you know what I'm saying? So you can actually take Biollante off the base. I'm going to try to anyway. You can take her off the base. But actually, you know what? I actually prefer keeping her on this base. It's just, it looks great with the base. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the Favorite Sculptors line. Godzilla 1962, the version 2 that I reviewed a couple months ago. You know, it's like in a walking pose, and it comes with the Rick exclusive of that figure comes with like a base where you can perch Godzilla on top of the base. And I've said in that video that if you're gonna go for that figure, go for the Rick, because I think the base makes the figure look better. Now the figure looks good, don't get me wrong, but I think it looks better. I think the figure was made to have the base underneath Godzilla. The same principle applies to Biollante. I think she just looks better perched upon this base here with the water and stuff and the tendrils, you know, coming around, you know, whatever. So that's what I wanted to have done for me. And mind you, when Mark makes these sculptures, he mostly makes his sculptures out of clay, and when he's done, they give off like a rigid resin feel, and he just paints them and details them extraordinarily well. But I wanted Biollante to have an organic look, you know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong, the resin, or at least a clay version would have been fine, but I wanted more an organic sculpture. So once again, I was more hands-on with Mark about this project as I was, like I said, with the King Kong project. I was really hands-on on him about that because I wanted that Kong to be perfect. Rightfully so, because it's my favorite King Kong film of all time. But with the sculpture like Biollante, or what I wanted, and for what I want Mark to do, like I said, this was something that he's never really done before. But I wanted him to make it, like I said, as organic as possible, to come off like a real plant, or to come off like an actual prop of the film. And I have to say, Mark Seng Yang has done a phenomenal job. Once again, this thing is amazing. It is big, it is massive. She actually towers over my gigantic series Godzilla 1989 figure, which you'll see in size comparisons later on. This thing clocks in at approximately 26 inches high. That's why she looks so big right here. So once again, done a phenomenal job. I can't thank you enough, Mark Seng Yang. Please, please, if you want a great kaiju sculpture of Biollante, of Kong, of Godzilla, or any other kaiju from the Tokusatsu universe, please hit up Mark Seng Yang on Facebook. He will definitely hook you up. Yes, yes, yes. And that's the backstory of me owning this figure. Once again, it's timely, since the anniversary of Biollante is in a couple days from now. 30 years, I can't believe it. 30 years that this movie and this monster has been in existence. And it's a great film. In my opinion, it's the best film from the Heisei series. So such an awesome film. So you know how we do things around here. Let's get up close and personal with Biollante. Basically, it speaks for itself, you know. Don't know how exactly he made this. I don't know what materials he made to construct Biollante. I would assume he got some foliage stuff from like Hobby Lobby or the hobby store or something. But whatever he did, he just made a great version of the Rose form Biollante. And once again, a monster that's really underrepresented when it comes to figure line stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, there are Rose form Biollantes out there, but between the two forms, it's the bigger form that gets more celebrated and gets the more attention. But I also believe, you know what, that the Rose form needs some attention too. She really does. And as you can see here, the greens all over Biollante's body is awesome. You have like what, 4 tendrils? 4 tendrils? Yes, and actually, you know what? I also sent him a mini replica of the Rose form Biollante, because there was a mini replica that came with the X Plus 30cm Godzilla 1989, the original version. They reissued that figure too with the same, you know, mini form of Rose Biollante, but it also came with the light up feature. But this is from the original version, the original figure release. And with that figure release, X Plus provided an a small mini replica Rose form Biollante. So I sent Mark that so he could also get inspiration on how I want Biollante to look. Once again, X Plus, we need a Rose form Biollante, whether it's 30cm or 25. Trust me, a lot of folks will buy it. Yes, yes, yes. But until then, I wanted Mark to create one of my own. If nothing else, like I mentioned before, this is basically to put up against my gigantic series Godzilla 1989. Once again, what you'll see in size comparisons later on. Once again, Mark Seng Yang has done a phenomenal job with the various greens all over Biollante's body. Basically Biollante's structure here, her body, her form, she's just a giant rose. You know what I'm saying? Once again, she's a beautiful monster. And that's like an oxymoron if you really think about it. An oxymoron is basically like a contradiction of terms. Like an honest politician, or a brave coward, or a meat-eating vegan. You know what I'm saying? Or in this case, a beautiful monster. But still, this is such a beautiful monster. Alongside Mothra, Biollante is probably the most beautiful monster that you're ever going to find, honestly. So once again, great job, Mark Seng Yang. You know, it really speaks for itself. It really does speak for itself. The leaves here on her body just gives off more of her size, you know, whatever. And the tendrils looks really, really good. The menacing tendrils with the teeth and it's painted on the inside of the mouth and blah, blah, blah. Her sack right here in the middle looks really, really good. Once again, he also he provided some foliage, some highlight foliage all over Biollante with some light greens all over her body, scattered all over her body to give her more depth, to give her more exuberance, you know. So I like how they did that. Before I get to the main part, which is the rose bloom, I want to talk about the base a little bit. Now, the base, you know, has water in it. You know what I'm saying? I think he did something to make the water look like it's very, very clear, or looks like it's about to churn due to Biollante's movements in the water. So I like how it's more sky blue than anything else. It really does look good. Also, if you look at all the, if you look at the outskirts of the base, it comes with multiple colors. Those supposed to represent multiple flowers, as well as here on the side right here, there's like a little mound that has like multiple flowers. And that's basically signify a scene that was not in the final cut of the film. They filmed the scene after Godzilla fights the Rose form Biollante, after he defeats her and she dissolves and goes away and blah, blah, blah. When she dissolves and her spores go up into the atmosphere, some of her spores are also scattered all over the countryside surrounding the lake where Biollante and Godzilla fought, right? So when those spores hit the ground, they all of a sudden pop up just millions and millions of just beautiful flowers, just pop up everywhere. And Godzilla's looking all around, just kind of bewildered, and then the scene just ends from there, you know what I'm saying? Once again, they filmed it, but it didn't, you know, they didn't want to include it in the final cut of the film, but the scene does exist. So I wanted Mark to basically recreate essence of that deleted scene by incorporating that into the base here with the multiple colors of the flowers popping up all over the outskirts of the base here, as well as this mound here on the side here. So kudos to Mark Seng Yang for making that happen. Now, for the main event, let's talk about the bloom here. The bloom looks really, 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 really awesome. And he also incorporated some teeth inside the bloom here. Once again, he's done a phenomenal job. He really did. I'm really speechless because, once again, this is such an amazing sculpture. It really is. And it just makes me advocate more that we get more Rose form Biollantes, you know, either from X Plus or from model kits or whatever. There are some that exist from model kits, but X Plus has not produced one aside from the mini Rick version that came with the 89 that I talked about. Before it's like an N-scale version to go with the 25 centimeter or 30 centimeter Godzillas, I think they need to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because Rose form Biollante is a cool monster, even though the more evolved one gets more attention, but we shouldn't sell this one short either. And hopefully I can convince you of that. If not, hit up Mark Seng Yang on Facebook. He can definitely hook you up with something like this or something similar to it. Once again, give him reference pictures. Be on top of what you want. Be on top of what you don't want. And he will deliver for you every single time. And he has proven this for me, as you can see right here. As it's still before she arrived, my most recent King Kong diorama was probably my most favorite sculpture that I got from Mark Seng Yang. But I have to say, I love that version of King Kong so much, and he done a phenomenal job with it. But this one is fighting it. This one is fighting it. So you know what? I'm going to break even here. Kong and this Rose form Biollante is my top 2 favorite Mark Seng Yang pieces. Yes, it really is. This thing is really that awesome. Yes. So from the base, from the mini flowers represented here on the side of the base, the tendrils, the color of Biollante, the overall sculpture of Biollante, the bloom, the teeth, just the overall size, massive, just the presence that this figure has. Mark Seng Yang, you've done a phenomenal job. I salute you, good sir. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go with the first and only size comparison. Once again, let's bring up her big brother. Let's bring up her big brother. That's what we do here on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews. We bring families together, whether it's Godzilla and Minya, whether it's Sanda and well, that didn't work out too well. But still, we bring families together. So you know what? Let's bring up her big brother. Let's bring up the S Plus Gigantic Series Godzilla 1989 to pair up with this custom-made 26-inch high Rose Biollante. So let's go with that size comparison right now. Okay, folks, I'm back with the first and only size comparison, with the only size comparison that matters, and alongside the Rose Biollante, courtesy of Mark Seng Yang Studios, I have her big brother, the S Plus Gigantic Series Godzilla 1989. As you can see, woo-hoo-hoo! Biollante got some size on him. Really, she really does. And you know what? This is kind of accurate, because if you really think about it, in the film, Rose Biollante was 85 meters tall, right? Godzilla at this point is 80 meters tall. Now, he will balloon to 100 meters tall in the next film, but in this film, he's 80 meters tall. So Biollante would still need to be taller and somewhat bigger than him, which is how it was in the film anyway. And as you can see here, it kind of does work. Now, Biollante is maybe too tall a little bit, but still, with her being submerged in the water, which is, you know, what the effect is going for with the base here, I think it works. I think it works. Now, in addition to the whole overall sculpture of Biollante, Mark Seng Yang also included a severed tendril that you can place in Godzilla's hand, in one of Godzilla's hands, to represent the scene, you know, where he's getting attacked by the Rose Biollante, and all those tendrils are trying to bite him and all that other stuff, and he grabs one and blows fire on it, holds one in his hand, you know, whatever. So kudos to Mark Seng Yang for making that happen. The tendril looks good, with the severed tendril looking really good, like I mentioned. And it has, you know, blood, you know, that green Biollante blood on the separate part of the tendril. Looks really good. This is such an awesome piece. This is such an awesome setup that I have here, devoted to one of my most favorite Godzilla films of all time, Godzilla vs. Biollante. Once again, Mark Seng Yang, you've done a phenomenal job. Yes, yes, yes. And for the longest time, the 1989 Gigantic Godzilla was pretty much the biggest figure in my collection, but now I think Biollante is the biggest now. I think she is. But considering what I want to go for, and considering how it was in the film anyway, I think it does work. But this looks great. Godzilla looks so great up against the Rose Biollante. Want to make you watch the movie, doesn't it? And you know what? Speaking of the movie, let me talk about the movie just for a few seconds before I get up out of here. Don't want to keep y'all here too much longer. But once again, this is such a great film. I really do enjoy this film, and it's the film that I would recommend to everybody. Now, selfishly, my favorite film of the Heisei film series is the next film, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. But I know that film may not be for everybody, for a lot of reasons, obviously. But I think as far as like a well-rounded Godzilla film from beginning to end, where you get good monster action, a good amount of Godzilla, a great plot, cool special effects, great movie, just a well-rounded movie, like I said, you can't get any better than Godzilla vs. Biollante, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I first watched this movie, I was 15 years old. Actually, when I first saw about this movie, I saw a poster of it in a magazine. I forgot what magazine it was, right? It was a black and white picture of the actual poster. You know, the beautiful artistic poster with the huge flower in the background and Godzilla in the foreground. Now, when I first saw this, mind you, this is really early in my Godzilla fan. So when I first saw the picture, now I was aware of Godzilla 1985. So when I saw the image of the Godzilla in the photograph or on the poster, I was like, wait a minute, it's probably a variation of the 1985 Godzilla. Because if you watch Godzilla 1985, when Godzilla falls off in the volcano, especially the American version, it kind of makes it seem Godzilla was dead at the end. So when I found out they were making Godzilla vs. Biollante, I was really ecstatic about it. I was like, wow, okay, so he didn't die, right? But when I saw the poster or this image of Godzilla and Biollante, with Biollante being so big and basically more menacing of the two, I thought Biollante was going to be the bad monster and Godzilla was going to be the good monster. That's not the case when you watch the film. Now, when I watched the film, I was really puzzled at first, like, why would Dr. Shiragami do this? Why would he make Biollante? And it's one of those films that is really a sophisticated Godzilla film. And it took me a few rewatchings of the film to really understand that the reason why he made Biollante was made was a creation out of an accident. She wasn't meant to be here. Basically, in the film, Dr. Shiragami is contracted by this country, Seradia, to use Godzilla cells in order to make their desert wastelands fertile lands so they can grow crops and blah blah blah. And he want to use Godzilla cells to kind of like speed up the process with that. But something happens that his daughter gets killed in one of the labs. You know, she loves roses, and so she gets killed, and her body is laying on like a bed of roses. So he took some of her DNA after she died and infused them with some roses, and he kept them like in this botanical garden, a controlled botanical garden, right? At this time, there are rumblings around Mount Mahar, basically, you know, signaling that Godzilla is about to return at some point. And his rumblings around Mount Mahar send shockwaves to Japan, and it sends shockwaves to his botanical garden, where it basically destroys the garden, or at least the case where the roses were in, right? So he wanted to use Godzilla cells in order to have the rose keep on surviving, right? But it ended up making Biollante. The Godzilla cells, in the fusion between the rose and the Godzilla cells became more of an overpowering property of the fusion, which is why we have Biollante. You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know what? This was so cool for the Heisei series. And if you really think about it, the Heisei series, even though it's my second favorite film series of Godzilla, you know, I love the Showa, but a lot of great things came from the Heisei series. You know, they improved on special effects. The monster designs and the monster suits look really, really awesome. You know, great characters like Mega Sugusa was, you know, in the series, so that was a good thing. But I think a lot of people don't really take into consideration that really the Heisei series is all about Godzilla. It always comes back to Godzilla. You know, the Heisei series is more so about Godzilla coming back after being gone for 30 years, and now Japan now has to deal with the fact that Godzilla is here, and how can we coexist with a monster like this? You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Biollante, you know what I'm saying, this was the first of a few Godzilla doppelgangers that Godzilla will face in the Heisei series. You know, with Mecha Godzilla, Space Godzilla, Little Godzilla, Baby Godzilla, Godzilla Jr., you know what I'm saying? So I really do enjoy that about the Heisei series, you know what I'm saying? But I think out of all the monsters, even though King Ghidorah is my personal favorite from the Heisei series, I think Biollante was the most innovative one, the most creative one. And it also will set the tone for the other Godzilla foes that will follow. Because each villain or each monster that Godzilla will fight will go to some type of metamorphosis where they go through a change. Rose form Biollante became the bigger Biollante. King Ghidorah became Mecha King Ghidorah. Batra and Mothra changed from their larva form to their aerial form. Mecha Godzilla became Super Mecha Godzilla. You know, the Crab Destroyer became the Adult Destroyer. And I really do enjoy that. But I think out of all of them, Biollante is the one that was the most creative, and it's it's such a shame that we didn't see her anymore throughout the Heisei series. You know, they kind of teased it at the end when we see her, you know, above the earth, you know, after the credits roll, to basically say, you know what, Biollante may come back one day. I would say, you know what, if Biollante was to come back, I would have loved to have seen her in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Nothing against Mogera, but since Space Godzilla, in my opinion, was more of a creation of Biollante, and you can tell by those big horns in Space Godzilla's mouth, kind of like the big horns in the final form of Biollante's mouth. But I think it would have been fun and cool to see Biollante come back, team up with Godzilla, since they're the ones that spawned Space Godzilla in the first place, and fight Space Godzilla. That would have been cool. But Biollante has made reappearances like in novels and books, but we have never again seen her in a film. But you know what? I think that makes films like Godzilla vs. Biollante really, really important. When you have these one appearance kaiju that are so awesome that you want to see more of them, but sometimes, you know what, it's best that they're only just in one film, just that one film, so you can appreciate that one film. Biollante comes to mind, Titanosaurus comes to mind, Megalon comes to mind, you know what I'm saying? All monsters that have a one-time appearance, but yet leave a lasting impression upon you that you want to see more of them, but at the same time, it makes you go back and rewatch that film over and over and over again. And I have to say, Biollante is one of the major reasons why I love this film. You know what I'm saying? The main theme of the film is about Japan now having to deal with Godzilla coming back after 5 years removed of the last film. And now with the continuation of the Heisei series, it's all about having to deal with Godzilla, whether it's good or bad, and the other monsters that will follow because of him being around. I really do enjoy that. I think that's really the bright spot of the Heisei series. But I think the biggest bright spot of the Heisei series is this film right here and this monster of the Rose Biollante. You can't go wrong with it. And happy anniversary to Godzilla vs. Biollante. 30 years come December 16th, 2019. Yes, yes, yes. So that pretty much concludes my Mark Seng Yang showcase to my awesome, just giant, custom-made Rose Biollante based off her iconic appearance in the iconic, awesome second Godzilla film from the Heisei film series, arguably the best film from the Godzilla Heisei film series, Godzilla vs. Biollante. Yes, yes, yes. If you have any questions, comment down in the comment section. Or hit me on Facebook via Leslie P. Chambers. We'll definitely go from there. Yes, once again, thank you, Mark Seng Yang. Thank you for making this happen. Yes, yes, yes. If you want a kaiju sculpture of Biollante, like I said, or Kong, or Godzilla, or Gamera, or any other monster from the kaiju landscape, please hit him up on Facebook, Mark Seng Yang. He will definitely hook you up. I am living proof of that. Yes, yes, yes. Once again, happy anniversary to Godzilla vs. Biollante. Such an awesome film. Such a great film. Awesome awesome monster in Biollante, and awesome design of Godzilla in the film. Just a well-rounded, solid Godzilla film. In my opinion, the best film from the Heisei series. You can't go wrong with Godzilla vs. Biollante. Once again, so much stuff is coming here on the channel. I got the gigantic Godzilla 2019 Rick version. That's on its way. Hopefully it'll be here sometime next week, you know, whatever. I still got to do the X plus 30cm 66 Baragon. I still got to do the X plus 25cm Godzilla 2000 and Orga. There's lots of stuff coming here on the channel. As a matter of fact, stay tuned to the end of this video and you see what is coming soon on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews. And you know what? I'm going to give you a hint. It's an X Plus figure, and it's not Godzilla. That's all I'm going to say. You have to stay into the end of the video to see what is coming soon on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews, and I think you'll enjoy it. But in the meantime, hit up Mark Seng Yang. You will not be disappointed. Trust me when I say that. Yes, yes, yes. So I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all again on the next Figure Move Review. All right? Y'all take it easy.